Alhamdulillah, wa ashhadu an la ilaha illallah wahdahu la sharika lah. Last week and the week before, we went over time, and some of the brothers and sisters who have to catch classes at 1 o'clock were a little late. We had to leave. But so I pledged to finish by 1:15, inshallah. However, I'm already 5 minutes late. I cheated myself after 5 minutes. So I will try to compress everything in the next half hour. The problem with most people is unawareness of God, or underestimating the greatness of God. So the subject today is the awareness. If you look at the people in the streets, see how they are going about their life unaware of their Creator. So we're going to look at a few verses in here to see the importance of being aware. The first one is in Surah 7, verse 179. Page 117. It says, we have assigned to hell multitudes of jinns and humans. They are the ones who have hearts, have minds, should be minds, that do not understand, eyes that do not see, and ears that do not hear. They are like animals. No, they're even worse. They are unaware. So the people who are unaware are assigned to hell. They have minds with which they do not think. They have eyes with which they do not see. And they have ears with which they do not hear. The next verse is in Surah 10, verse 7. That's page 139. It says, yet there are those who are oblivious of meeting us, are satisfied and content with this life, and are heedless of our revelation. These have deserved hell as a consequence of their work. Now, heedless or unaware, the same word is used in the Arabic word, ghafilin. They are unaware. And you notice they are content with this life. So you look at the majority of people out there in the street, and they are unaware of their Creator, unaware of the hereafter, accountability, and they are busy with this life. The next verse, 16, 106. Page 185. It says, anyone who disbelieves in God after having believed, unless forced while the heart is content with faith, such persons whose hearts are willing.
Faraj. Now what's very interesting is this. The Quran is mentioning this. When Aus and Kharaj, the Arab tribes, are fighting, their allies are fighting with their patrons. So Jews are killing Jews. And when Jews are killing Jews, they are disobeying the commandments of Allah given to them that Jews should not fight Jews or kill each other. But something very interesting would happen. When some Arab tribes would capture Jews, the Jews combine to ransom Jewish captives. Because there's another commandment also, the Mosaic law, which says, when Jews are taken prisoners, then it's the duty of a Jew to ransom. So this is very strange. Jews are killing each other, and when some of them are captured, they help each other to ransom. It's possible, and maybe this is manipulated, that the Jew consider the Arab inferior, and therefore it's not proper for an Arab where the Jew is slave. There's something very subtle in it. So they will see to it that one Jew is not a slave of an Arab, but they are killing each other.
Goodness is my true enemy.
Yes. So Allah is saying, you obey one part of the law, by ransoming Jews, and you disobey the other one by killing each other. And so the message is, if the Jews are doing this with the revelations of Allah, well, it's almost telling us Muslims now, we cannot obey one part of Quran and then say, oh, this other part is too hard, it is forbidden. Now, I'm sorry that I just confined on the historical aspect, but it now...
It's even clear in Surah 15,
tells us,
it says, woe to the dividers
Yeah.
who take part of the Quran and leave the other part. Making the Quran go with the wishes.
And the
Is
message,
that the total thing or not?
and the message is very clear with this proof Al-Tasi brought for us. I'm sure this Iranian troop and this Iraqi troop, when there's a lie, then they do and they pray. So they follow a part of the Quran. Then when it's time to fight, like the Polisario and the Moroccan, then they kill. Now, Islam is a total way of life. You cannot just choose this when it's necessary for it and then disregard something. Well, I'm sorry, that's taking so much
Oh,
time.
that's great. Okay, 88. They said, our hearts are shielded. Rather, it is a curse. You see, they don't accept Quran, in other words. Our hearts are shielded. Rather, it is a curse from God because of their disbelief that prevents them from ever believing. Thus, when a scripture came to them from God, and even though it confirms what they have, and even though they used to predict its coming to the idolaters, when their own predictions came true, they disbelieved. Thus does God's curse affect the disbelief. I think it's all clear. 90. Miserable indeed is what they sold their souls for, rejecting these revelations of God out of sheer resentment that God should bestow His blessings upon whomever He wills. Consequently, they incurred wrath upon wrath. They will suffer humiliating retribution. There may be some people who will not, they look at the Quran, there's nothing wrong with it. There is even physical evidence that it is a divine scripture, but they will not accept it, just out of resentment that it's coming from the Arabs, maybe, or for some other reason. So what they do is they're really destroying their own soul, destroying themselves. 91. When they are told, believe in these revelations of God, they say, we believe only in what was revealed to us. They thus reject all subsequent scriptures, even though they know it is the truth, and even though it confirms their own scriptures. Saying, why did you slay God's prophets in the past if you were really believers? See, they say we believe on our revelations. It didn't come to us. But then the question here is, you really didn't. When you had your own scripture, without the Quran, you didn't follow it. And they even killed their prophets. This touches a nerve.
So I just want to mention something on that. It's very interesting. This one says they killed the Prophet 91. In 87, messenger.
Yes.
I found out that this is not correct counting, but what I was able to get, there are around 9 verses. I know there might be more about killing the prophets and messengers. Out of these 9, 3 mentioned messenger and 6 prophets. It's
Very accurate.
very interesting. In other words, it's not just prophets, but some of these prophets were actual messengers. And certainly there are few messengers and prophets go on.
Well, Bill Mahmoud did some thinking about the killing of Moses, probably. The killing of Moses and Aaron. It's a possibility that they killed them. But there are also many other prophets in the children of Israel that they killed, prophets like Isaiah, Ezekiel, I don't know which ones were killed by them, but many of the prophets were killed by them.
Jeremiah was killed.
Jeremiah.
On the way to Egypt. Also.
Yeah.
Zechariah also. Zechariah was killed. Yeah.
Yeah.
The uncle of
Of
Jesus, yeah. The
Yeah.
high priest.
Well, John the Baptist was killed.
Anyway, we were discussing this at length the other day, and my thoughts about this are that Satan, initially, when Moses was sent to the children of Israel, either you, Adam, give the lesson or me. You can't have two teachers. When Moses came, Satan directed his attention to have them desecrate the prophets and the messengers. Have no respect for Moses. They don't, even now. If you watch the Seventh Commandment, the movie, they just so. But this technique backfired on Satan because they ended up worshiping God. Now, later on, of course, the scholars came and they invented the Mishnah and the Gemara and the Talmud. But that was something that Satan did later. And then when he came to the Christians, he went the other way. He made them idolize the prophet too much, worship him like a god. So that also, was very successful. And he did it better with the Muslims by making it subtle. He followed the same technique that succeeded with the Christians, but it's very subtle. Yet the Muslims are exactly like the Christians. They really idolize Muhammad exactly the way the Christians idolize Jesus. I mean, you tell them hadith is no good and their hair stands up. They're very, very emotional about it, as you know. To the extent that they don't believe the Quran. You know, the Quran says it's complete, it is perfect, it can be the only source, but they cannot stand that. So the initial attempt of Satan was to make the Jews disrespect their messengers of God. Where are we now? 92? Okay. Latifa, you want to take 92? Yeah, there's only one Latifa here. Don't look around.
Most have come to you for found earth, yet you idolize the calf in his absence and turn wicked. You want to continue on there?
Yes.
We made a covenant with you. As we raise Mount Sinai above you, you shall strongly uphold the commandments we gave you and prophets. They said, we heard, but we will not obey. Their hearts were filled with adoration for the calf. As a consequence of their disbelief, say, miserable indeed is what your condition dictate upon you. If you do have any conviction, say, if the hereafter is reserved and you alone as God, to the exclusion of all others, then you shall long for death if you are Christians. They will never long for it because of what their hands have committed. God is fully aware of the wicked. In fact, you will find them the most pervaders of life, even more so than the pagans. The one of them wishes to live 1,000 years, so this will never spare him the retribution. Should he survive, God sees everything he does. Okay, you want to do that right now?
Yeah, please.
Okay, my understanding here from 92 to 96, well, it really is self-explanatory. The commandments that Allah gave to Moses is telling the people to obey the commandments. But yet there were some who disobeyed, and yet they feel that what they themselves had created, like water to be written down in 50 people, they feel that this here would still get them into heaven. You know, and then they covered up saying, well, you know, it's okay, God says it's okay. And yet they got so many followers. Of course, all this is what Satan's trickeries and stuff. But the man or people themselves that fell into this Jesus Christ and all the prophets and saints and so forth, thinking that they're going to get into heaven. But they're not going to get into heaven until they're closer to hell. Because this is what God wanted them to do. And also, it's saying that if they are faithful, like if one of us was to talk to them, and how they deny when we are then if we talk to them, and if they are really truthful, we're supposed to tell them, well, you show us proof or something, and let us know that what you're saying is the real. We have to show us your proof. And so you can also let them know too, and then you can see it, because if they were really truthful, they would long for death. But they don't. They want to live forever and forever. They think they're silver and they're gold and they buying catches in the good hills and gold hills is going to keep them safe and away from God. Whereas it's not. And like us, the true Muslims are here in China. But we long for that. Because we know that appointment day is coming. And we know right now that we have the truth, but yet we didn't dare tell nobody else that they're doing and going to hell, even though we know we got the truth, and this is the perfect religion, but yet they water it down for the people. And if the people need to be, give excuses to it, so forth, and they hide from man, and they tell them to hide. So that's my understanding.
Well, that's beautiful. You're touching a very important point of truth. When people come to you and say anything, make a statement, Jesus is the Son of God. Say, why do you say that? You have proof? Are you sure? If you prove it to me, I'll be glad to believe it. But the difference is that we have proof. That's a big difference.
And then too, like how you said though, a lot of times, because I try to do God as much as possible, and even more than that. But then when I talk to people, I find that a lot of times they do try to not believe. They say, oh, right. But a lot of times that spirit, it gets decided, because I know it's not my people talking, but it be something, one of the angels that take over and talk to you. But when I be hearing in the way and in the way of it's supposed to be for that person to be hearing. And so therefore, when I, when it's being related to them, they go, wow, yeah, and I would think a lot of people, this spirit that comes to me, and see a lot of people cry. And then when it comes down to, okay, I'm back to my teacher. Hey, what you gonna do? No, it's an error. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So, that point you pointed out, just because it's an error, they go in their soul. Everything else is perfect and beautiful and humble God out of it. There's the error, I can't do it. Then they go ahead on, and alhamdulillah, because I done got my blessings to do it,
You did your job, and then God knows if they deserve to be guided or not.
Yes.
Okay, Inga, let's take that. 97.
Say, anyone who opposes Gabriel should know that he revealed this scripture into your heart with God's permission, confirming previous scriptures and providing guidance and good news to the believers. Anyone who opposes God, his angels, his messengers, Gabriel and Michael, should know that God opposes the disbelievers. We have revealed to you profound revelations, and only the wicked will disbelieve therein. Is it not a fact that whenever they made a covenant, some of them would violate it? Indeed, most of them do not believe. And when a messenger came to them from God, confirming their own scripture, some of those who followed previous scripture disregarded this new scripture, as if they did not know.
So that's an important piece of information.
Why do I feel like I just... I guess I don't understand what the distinction with the whole Gabriel thing. Because to me, Gabriel means, Christ for me.
Gabriel? Gabriel, you know who Gabriel is?
Yeah. He came to Mary.
Right.
Told her of becoming a child.
Right.
She had a child.
Right.
Yeah, Gabriel.
Okay, so this tells us that Gabriel's function is to mediate the revelations between God and the messenger. And this happened since Adam. He's the one who carried the revelations to Adam, to Noah, to Mary, to Jesus, to Moses, to Muhammad. Well, God spoke directly with Moses. But there were instances where Gabriel also mediated revelation. This is his job.
I would like to add, say that, it may be a revelation, I believe, but Gabriel took Hebrew place there, you know.
Well, no, not necessarily. Oh.
Will you repeat that?
No, I was saying like, okay, like how they said that, like Jesus, like it's the archangel, okay, if he, you know, he was a
But there were many archangels. Also, Satan was kicked out before the revelation, before the human beings were on earth. Right? So that was not one of his functions.
Okay, it was just that my understanding, only when it started, that I was thinking that Hebrews was like the only part.
No. There were many.
There was 3 of them.
Probably millions, billions.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did the angels then reveal the scripture on their own initiative, or was it like an order from God, or was
It's an order. It's an order from God, and he just transmitted because it's one of the transmission methods that you mentioned in the Quran. Because Moses is the only one that God spoke to. I mean, the only one recorded in Quran anyway. But these are the words of God. The Quran are the words of God, and Gabriel is told to go and put them in Muhammad's heart, release them actually from Muhammad's heart. Because Muhammad was summoned to the highest horizon, and the Quran was in his heart. Like you and I, everybody, each one of us had in his heart or her heart the knowledge that God is the Master, the Lord of the universe. We all met God, all of us, before we were born. But because of this body, we don't remember it. And in the same way, Muhammad had the Quran in his heart, exactly in the same way. But he needed Gabriel to come and release it to his mouth, from inside. So if that knowledge that you have about meeting God needs to come to the surface, you need the help of an angel. Or you need to die, get rid of the body. So Gabriel was just transmitting the words of God, orders from God, letter by letter.
Why did you say what you said about
Because the body obscures that knowledge.
or were you?
Do you remember your meeting with God? The initial one,
No.
before the creation of the heavens and the earth, where God said, "Do you bear witness? I am the Lord of the universe." And we said, "We bear witness that you are the Lord of the universe." And God said, "Now you cannot claim on the day of judgment that you never heard of me." That's in Surah 7. So, but we don't remember that because of this body. And the Quran was in Muhammad's heart in the same way. So Gabriel's function was to release the Quran. So what we just read in there is a piece of information telling us that Gabriel mediated the release of Quran.
But you know, what is this? That we take an oath of you when you talk to other people.
That would be angels, yeah.
Okay.
Also
Would it be
angels.
the two on that lines or?
Not necessarily, there are lots of angels.
Okay.
We have a whole bunch of angels with us, each one of us. We have God.
But that's what I'm saying, would it be mine, or would it be like, you know, the other people, or?
Oh, they do all kinds of things. They wake you up for Fajr prayer, don't they?
Mm-hmm. You know.
They will do all kinds of things when they really get familiar with you. They pinch you to wake you up. I mean pinch. They push you off the bed sometimes. They would speak to you They'll knock on your door, shaking her head. They knock on Fatima's door. When she gets out of bed, opens the door, there's nobody there. But it's time for Fajr prayer. They'll speak to you. They did it to me once. I was sleeping in bed, and I always sleep with the radio next to me. I always like to hear the radio. And then the Fajr came, and I got up very sleepy and very tired. I was really especially tired that night. So after I stood up next to bed, I said, oh, well, I'm going to sleep again for maybe a half hour. So just as I was going to sit down, in an Egyptian accent, as purely Egyptian, the word was Ewa, means don't you. What is Baroni? Did you know that? Ewa.
So, when you play
Said,
that?
don't you. You know, I really warned it. So I looked around, you know. Then I thought maybe the radio was on. Just saying one word, but it was off. It was very clear, loud and clear. Don't you go back to sleep. You can imagine what happened after that. And whenever they do it, you're never afraid, you're never scared. They're very nice. Doesn't matter what they do, you're never scared. It is never a frightening experience. If anything, it's an exalting experience. I'm sure quite a few of you somehow open up their eyes just before sunrise. And they're given the impression this is the time to pray morning. And that's, angels do that. We go to Surah 13, this will talk about this subject. 13. I'll give you the verse number right now. I know it here.
What topic was it?
What the angels, huh?
And the angels?
Yeah, the angels take turns.
You're talking about Surah 13, ayah 11?
Is it 11?
Well, it's something about
Right, there we go. Yeah, verse 11. Each of you, that's you and me, each of you has a succession of angels in front of you and behind you, who guard you in accordance with God's decision. Now that's so you have angels around you who make sure that nothing happens to you except exactly what is to happen to you. I mean, it is just amazing. What is supposed to happen to you has to happen. There is nothing. It all depends on your decision and what you do. And I have to tell you this story. But it shows you exactly how the example is. I had a friend who was talking about marijuana. Marijuana. I don't know what brought the subject up. Oh, I was walking down the alley there and I saw a high school kid at the corner there. He was smoking and marijuana smoking, and I smelled it. It's not cigarettes. So I came, not that way. I didn't sniff that hard. So I mentioned to my friend that smells nice. And the friend said, yeah, that stuff is good. Or something to that effect. So I said, well, expect a pinch. I said, God doesn't like it. He said, intoxicants are haram, it's prohibited. And if God doesn't like it, we're not supposed to like it, or even praise it, or say anything nice about it. So you have to expect a pinch. And I felt like preaching, a big lesson about this subject, but I held back. So that was it was a mistake on my part. I felt that I was not doing justice to the subject when I really should have. Now, then that same day, the two of us, same two people, were starting a heater in one of the apartments, a furnace. And I was lighting the pilot. The pilot was not lighting, but all of a sudden, I heard the hissing of the gas. The hissing of the gas came in. Now, I'm not boasting, but I'm not really dumb, I know that if I strike a match with the gas, there's going to be an explosion. But it was as if I was completely hypnotized. Yeah, and I flicked my pick anyway.